Burnout is a lie your brain tells you to justify mediocrity. I built a $10 million business. I'm in the best shape of my life. I have time to raise my beautiful family, and I've never been burnt out a single day in my life. Not because I'm special, but because I learned something that 99% of people never do. That feeling you call burnt out isn't a signal to rest. It's proof you're wasting your energy on the wrong things. In the next 8 minutes, I'm gonna show you a framework that eliminated burnout from my life forever and how you can too. But if you can't invest even 8 minutes to fix your brain, then you're exactly who needs to hear this most. My first point is the burnout myth. What you call burnout isn't depleted energy, it's misallocated energy. When I was 24 years old, nearing the end of our first fitness coaching company, I was incredibly overwhelmed with the work that we had to do on a daily basis. I didn't want to speak to our trainers anymore due to the negativity that was in the environment, and my business partner was so burnt out, he couldn't even look at his phone. There was multiple times where he actually had a panic attack and had to take a step back for multiple days on end due to the overwhelming amount of stress, anxiety, and meaningless day-to-day work that was happening. This happened because the brain doesn't get tired from work, it gets tired from meaningless work. When you do something that doesn't align with your values and doesn't have clear outcomes, your brain manufactures fatigue as an escape mechanism. This is why you can feel burnt out at work but have endless energy when scrolling social media or playing video games. Research from the American Psychological Association found that purposeful work actually increases energy levels by 27%, while meaningless tasks drain energy regardless of how easy they are. So once you understand that burnout is just misallocated energy, not depleted energy, you can start fixing the real problem, which brings me to the most critical shift you need to make. Energy follows direction. Your energy multiplies when you have ruthless clarity on your goals. When people found out I was gonna have my first kid, the naysayers came out. Everybody consistently said, once you have a kid, it's gonna be incredibly overwhelming and stressful to work towards your goals. But once I had a kid, it was easier to work hard. And I was incredibly clear. I knew exactly why I was working on a daily basis, not only for my goals, but for his goals and his future. My why was directly in front of me, calling me daddy on a daily basis. So I'm not struggling with a lack of motivation or drive anymore because it is right in front of me. There is a direct correlation between clarity and energy. Most people feel burnout because they're scattered across too many priorities. The solution is not working less. It's eliminating everything that doesn't directly contribute to your most important goals. I call this ruthless clarity. This is the concept between more or closer. Most people live in the column of more. They add more to their plate, more to their calendar, and more to their day-to-day actions to hopefully get to their goals, when in reality, it's only taking away from their energy. I only do things that will get me closer to my goals. There is nothing that's adding more to my plate unless it is directly correlated with the success I want to see. I want you to analyze your time and energy over the next week. What tasks do you enjoy and what tasks do you hate? What gives you energy and what takes away energy? And lastly, what did you get distracted doing? Like, have you ever been doing something but you realize that your brain just isn't in it? It's thinking about something else. For me, it's emails. If I have to open up my email and look through anything, I am automatically searching YouTube or playing on my phone because it makes me want to stick a gun in my mouth. So let me ask you, if you get distracted during a task, why are you even doing it? When you have a clear reason behind something, your energy naturally follows. Because without clarity on what you're working towards, work feels like an endless grind. Steve Jobs said, people think focus means saying yes to the thing you gotta focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to 100 other good ideas. When you implement ruthless clarity, you'll find that you have hours of energy you didn't know you had. But clarity alone isn't enough. You need to understand how your brain's reward system is sabotaging you. But before we go on, right now I'm ruthlessly focused on YouTube growth. So if you want to help focus more of your energy on stuff like this, subscribe to the channel now. The next goal is 20K subscribers. This brings me to my third point, which is the dopamine trap. Now, modern burnout is a symptom of dopamine dysregulation, not overwork. In my previous company, as soon as I would wake up in the morning, I would check my phone. Doing this consistently put me in a fight or flight state, and then I would feel incredibly overwhelmed throughout the day because I would be thinking about what was happening on the phone, the news, different things happening in the world, or things happening in the comment section of my social media posts. The entire day I would feel lethargic rather than energized, and it kept affecting my productivity at work. This is because when you check your phone first thing in the morning, you are flooding your brain with dopamine, making meaningful work feel incredibly boring by comparison. Your brain works on contrast. When you start your day with high dopamine, low effort activities like social media, sugar, news, or porn, you create an impossible standard for your brain's reward system. Everything else, especially deep work, feels unsatisfying by comparison. This creates a sensation of burnout when really it's just dopamine depletion. Brain fog, poor memory, procrastination, inability to focus. These are all signs that you're your dopamine receptors. Take a second to open up your phone and look at your screen time. Most of you will have an average of 6 to 8 hours, and most of it is wasted on different apps like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube. This is important because it makes you aware of how much time you are wasting. You do not need to be spending 40 minutes in the bathroom while taking a shit, scrolling Instagram and TikTok like I know you do. You do not need to be looking at Instagram and TikTok before your sets, but you do that anyways. Most of you would be shocked at how much time you are wasting on a daily basis not doing what you need to do. No wonder you feel burnt out. Your brain is fucked. When you constantly scroll, check notifications, or jump between apps, your brain gets hit with rapid, low-effort dopamine spikes, which can mess with your ability to focus, do work, or even remember things. Think about it like this. Your brain has a baseline amount of dopamine that it needs in order to function, and constant dopamine spikes reduce your baseline, making anything other than intense hits boring or even depressing. Social media and notifications give instant reward with no effort. Over time, real-world tasks like reading, working, or even deep thinking feel boring because they don't provide the instant dopamine hit. Tasks that require effort now feel painful because they don't give immediate gratification. This is why you procrastinate, experience brain fog, or poor memory. Rapid content consumption means your brain never deeply processes information. You train yourself to skim and forget instead of focus and retain. If you want to reset your focus, memory, and motivation, you need to reduce cheap dopamine hits and replace them with high-effort, high-reward activities. Reduce mindless phone use. Turn off all non-essential notifications, and move dopamine-draining apps off your home screen or delete them altogether. Studies show that checking your phone within the first hour of waking up reduces your productivity by 37% and increases feelings of overwhelm by 44% throughout the day. Once I restructured my dopamine exposure, any feelings of burnout disappeared in days. But controlling your neurochemistry is just one piece. You also need to master your energy cycles, which brings me to my fourth point, which is to not manage your time, but manage your energy. For the next week, I want you to focus on managing your energy, not just your time. This is the key to sustainable performance. When I audit my clients' calendars, they have hours upon hours of work blocks. So what they'll do is they'll take client work and batch 7 hours all together instead of breaking it down into digestible chunks so they can be more productive throughout the day. This is incredibly overwhelming for them, and they end up pushing tasks consistently down the week because they don't get everything they need to get done. The reason this happens is because they aren't working within their brain's natural energy cycles. For me, an example of this is easier to wake up at 3 a.m. than 6 a.m. because it aligns with my energy cycle. Most people struggle waking up at 6 or 7, but I bet you find waking up at 4 or 5 would be doable. This is because it's within your body's natural energy cycles. Waking up at 4 a.m. can feel easier because your body might naturally be in a lighter sleep stage. In contrast, waking up at 6 or 7 could pull you from deep sleep, making you feel groggy and sluggish. And this is just when you wake up. This is why multi-hour work blocks aren't efficient. Your brain doesn't work like that. You're pushing a rock uphill when you could be working with your body's natural energy cycles and allowing the rock to fall downhill. Your energy runs in 90-minute ultradian cycles. Most people ignore these cycles and wonder why they hit walls of fatigue and distraction. To maximize productivity, work in 90-minute focus blocks, followed by a 20 to 30-minute break to reset your energy. This aligns with your brain's natural rhythms, keeping you sharp and focused throughout the day. Managing energy, not time, is the fundamental currency of high performers. That's a quote by someone much smarter than me. When you align your work with your energy cycles, you'll accomplish more in 6 hours than most people do in 12. But there's one final piece that ties everything together, which is my fifth point, the recovery paradox. Strategic recovery produces more energy than rest. Most people's idea of recovery is passive. Netflix, sleeping in, scrolling. These activities actually deplete your mental resources further. True recovery is active. It involves activities that replenish your physical, mental, and emotional energy reserves. Physical recovery looks like intense exercise followed by nutrition and sleep. Mental recovery looks like learning something unrelated to work. And emotional recovery looks like deep connection with loved ones. Research from the Harvard Business Review found that active recovery techniques increased energy levels by 61% compared to passive rest, which only provided a 23% boost. When you implement strategic recovery instead of collapse-style rest, you'll break the burnout cycle permanently, and you'll operate at a level that makes other people wonder what the fuck you're doing. You already have everything you need. Burnout is just misused energy. The world does not need more mediocrity. It needs you at your full power. Take this one principle, apply it today, and everything changes from here.